When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all? It's like we're mentally in prison. I like the word prison because slavery goes too direct to the idea of blacks.
Now, since then, Kanye West has released a flurry of tweets. Here is just some of what he said. He said, "Of course I know that slaves did not get shackled and put on a boat by free will. My point is for us to have stayed in that position, even though the numbers were on our side, means we were mentally enslaved." He also said, Andrew, his statement was an example of free thought, that it was just an idea, and that now he's being attacked for presenting new ideas.
And obviously people are just not responding well to the comments, and it's led to a firestorm of criticism on social media.
That's right. So first we have the fans, a lot of them saying they're disappointed. People are also mocking the comments with the hashtag "if slavery was a choice." That is trending. Then there are the other artists. Director Spike Lee wrote a long post on Instagram saying Kanye West needs to wake up. Part of what Spike Lee wrote is, "Our ancestors did not choose to be stolen from Mother Africa."
Indians, niggas, same thing, same thing, same thing, same thing, same thing.
To watch all of my exclusive content not featured here on my channel, log on to my website at imjustheretomakeyoutthink.com/films. Just imagine a school of people cramming themselves onto a boat today, trying drastically to avoid what's known as immigration laws, packing themselves in the trunks of vehicles, and even small cave-like holes underneath the ground, doing whatever it takes to travel to America, due to their belief that America is the land of plenty, with new beginnings for themselves and their families, opportunities for employment and affordable housing, all while risking their lives in hopes of gaining freedom. This should all ring a bell here and make you wonder if people were willing or unwilling to aboard these rowboats or cargo passenger ships in the first place. Or maybe the question should be, were people forced into slavery, or was slavery simply done by choice? Now, before I go any further, I want you to note again that during the 1600s and until the near end of the 1800s, rowboats or cargo ships were not modernized to include engines or motors that would conveniently drive the boat throughout the seas. The commercial production of steamboats or riverboats were made available at the tail end of the 1800s as well, which should make you wonder, how many so-called slave ships were accounted for that enabled strangers to carry a whopping 12.5 million people, along with supplies, food, and other cargo from one continent to another? And if there were no motors or engines attached to these slave ships, then some company or fictionalized character would have been created and placed up for public display by now in order to showcase how an impossible task of dragging millions of people out of their native lands and forcing them to work on some distant land is somehow a reality, and it actually happened. But I guess since slavery was so bad that it's no need to prove that these slave ships actually existed, right? See there? Now, let's take things a step further. As you may know, this type of travel was extremely perilous during the time periods prior to any advanced technologies allowing for more propitious routes to be taken. Merchants or sailors traveling across the Atlantic using sailboats had no choice but to take specific routes based on the Volta do Mar Largo, which is a Portuguese phrase meaning turn of the wide sea. This Volta do Mar Largo phrase refers to the oceanic rotation that signifies the ocean's currents, which is why we are taught that the sea is divided into 5 oceans. These 5 oceans are also called ocean gyres, in which each of these gyres represents a different ocean current rotation. Listen closely.
Okay, shout out to my wife. She assisted on this research as well, right here. Now, let me explain this one, guys. This is major. This is major, and I'm sure it went over a lot of people's heads. These ocean gyres are still in effect right now. I like this example that my wife used. She said, imagine when you going on like a cruise ship, for example. When you're going on a cruise ship, you know, you're traveling on a cruise ship and you're going you're going from Southwest DC, for example, and you're taking a trip to, let's just say, somewhere in down South America. You're going to Brazil, right? Number one, the routes that they have to take are so important that you have to understand. You cannot go into that Atlantic without having trouble of wreckage, or you'll be lost at sea. The reason why is due to the current rotation, meaning the water's rotation, how the current flows. You have to hug the coast to get to where you're trying to get to, but it's not always going to be feasible for you to be going like from here to Africa. Like, the reason why I'm saying that is because you have to go from here to so many other areas before you make it to Africa. Okay? Now, and that's still to this very day, by the way. And the reason why is due to how it goes. Like, if you notice on this picture right here, on this image, it shows you North America, right? But notice the circular pattern with the arrows going this direction. That also means that you cannot go the opposite direction, okay? Closer to this gyre. If you do, you'll be lost at sea. So that's why you notice that those cruise ships, to go back to my wife's example, would never be out in the water like that. They'll be closer to the land, or like if you go to the beach, sometimes you'll catch them if you're out there on time, where the cruise ship would just hug the beach and keep going, and you wave at the people while you on the beach and they on the cruise ship. And nowadays, you know, they got GPS, you know, to keep them on track. Now we talking 1800s now, y'all. See, this is another thing that you have to have into account, because they could get lost in these gyres. Let's just say it that way, because ain't no telling what's gonna happen in the middle, and you know, ain't no telling. Okay, this is realistic. This is how it goes. This is the South Atlantic gyre down here beside South America. Now, I know this is a Mercator world map. We're just gonna use this for right now because this is the maps that they're feeding to you. But you can also utilize the information against them, because it also contradicts. It contradicts itself each time. That's impossible for you to travel across North America to Africa. You know, they want to claim this area is Africa. I hope you see my mouse. But you can't go straight across with that gyre being right there. That's impossible. So the route that you took, in certain cases, you're gonna also hear, this is a good time to drop this right now. You're gonna also hear that they captured captured enslaved Africans from the west coast of Africa and traveled to South America. The majority of them, that's what they would say. But the biggest area on the Mercator world map is Brazil. So it's a few things here that they were trying to tell you. Number one, the immigration of the albino people, the albino people from Africa went directly to Brazil. Some went to Russia, some went to Brazil. Now, some of you, or maybe the majority, would consider them white folks. That's just one example. Okay? Now, we know for sure that they weren't bringing millions of them. Okay? Let's say that they brought some that they could fit on the ships by the time they started creating actual huge size ships that had motors in them. But by that time, the transatlantic slave trade was allegedly out the door. So that once again doesn't add up, meaning that it was almost about to end by the time they got motors involved. Doesn't add up. Now, if they took some from Africa, let's just say it was like 30,000 of them. For example, I'm just saying as an example, let's just say that they took 30,000 of them from a particular time period, not all at one trip, from a particular time period. Pick one in between the 16 and 1800s, right? Let's just say 30,000. Now, can that 30,000 populate all of South America? No. Not at all. And the reason why I'm saying that is because that same 30,000 wouldn't be able to populate all of North America. What are you getting at, Dane? We were already here. That's what I'm getting at. If you only brought bits and pieces of a population, that doesn't mean a whole population is going to be in the 50s and the 60 millions in 200 years. Keep that in mind, not 400 years, 200 years. Don't forget this. And then on top of that, the way they had to travel, the routes that they had to take. Yeah, they couldn't just go straight across. That was impossible. So any story, anyone, and I mean that, any story, even if it's a good book, it got a good cover, you might have some attachment to it religiously, a whole bunch of them stories is a lie, man. Just due to this point right here. And that's just the start of it. You can't go across that Atlantic without trouble. You're gonna have trouble. Remember, they said that Christopher Columbus lost how many ships? How did he lose them? Oh, you gonna see Christopher Columbus hiding in some woods and he gonna capture some children and run away. They coming after him. Did his ship wreck because they caught his ass? But no, hold on, wait a minute. You would think they would, but they said that Christopher Columbus came again. So let's back up a second. They said Christopher Columbus landed somewhere that he was not used to. That's number one. He wasn't supposed to be landing in the islands surrounding Haiti. He wasn't supposed to be over there. So that means that he didn't know where he was going. He was looking for some form of promised land. He was looking for something, right? That he was supposed to report back to Queen Isabel. That's number one. Number two, think about this now. If he landed in Haiti somewhere, let's just say somewhere in Haiti, that's what it was. It was within that same area, within that same landmass. He landed there, right? Lost, okay? How was he able to capture somebody and find his way back to Moolah, Spain? It wasn't Italy. He's not an Italian. It's Moolah, Spain. It's still called Moolah, Spain today, if he existed. So all of a sudden he lost, and he gonna know his way home now? Did he have some help? Who was the help? If he had help, who was the help? He did come back, allegedly, to the story with this, the story that they're giving us, and he came back with Iberians, those people that were near the Iberian Peninsula and places like Mauritania, Tunis, Algiers, Morocco. That's who he came back with. The ones that some of you may call Moors nowadays. So he had help. This is according to the story. And even a Moor is a navigator of the sea. Even a Moor anchors a boat. Hold it steady while in the sea, while floating on the water. The anchors. Okay, so he had help. So why are you calling him the explorer? Oh, okay. Think they ain't lie about everything? You got another thing coming here. And then I want you to tell me the route that he took. I dare anybody. I dare anybody to tell me what routes were taken for this transatlantic slave trade prior to any ships being accompanied by motors, engines. The steamboats was running off of coal. So were the engines at one point. So I'm talking about prior to any of that. How? And unwillingly, on top of that, keep in mind, unwillingly. That's what they claim. So let's just look at this image for a second. Let's analyze this depiction of some form of slavery allegedly supposed to be happening. And this is a depiction, okay? You could probably Google this, it'll pop right up. Now let's look at this for example. So you got all of these slaves right here, right? Allegedly, I mean, according to how they dressed, because this guy's fully clothed, so is he. And this guy right here is fully clothed. Now, according to him, according to how it's colored, he looks like a white man. He look like a white man. I would say Arabic, something like that. But that's 1, 2, 3. And all of and look, and it's not like they got chains on what they doing. If you look at it, it look like they're drawing up the sail. They drawing up the sail. So you mean to tell me they helping their master out? Or are they helping their friend out that's on lookout right now, watching to make sure, hey man, look, we about to get away, y'all. Come on, y'all. We going to freedom. We going to the promised land. Listen. Look at this. The white guy in the water pulling on the sail as well. They trying to draw it up. This guy overlooking. I mean, he don't. He got on some type of headdress right here. I hope you see my mouse. He got on a headdress, and they drawing up this sail, and he overlooking. They go another boat in behind him in the way. Look like this guy right here giving them direction. You pull it up, guys. Pull it up. And he over here. Yeah, let's go. Pull. Does it look like this is slavery to you, or look like they assisting each other? No chains, no shackles on them. Like we could tell by these two people right here. No chains, no shackles. He free. He can hop out in the water and get away. What he gonna do? Throw his only weapon into the water to go get this guy? What if he miss him? What other weapon he gonna have? Okay, he got a sword right here. But one sword, okay, one swing could probably knock down 3 of these people, but all of these people can gang up on this one person. And somebody I'm just saying, how can this make sense? They helping each other. That's what they doing. They helping each other. Okay, say for instance, God forbid something happened to America, right? What if a neighbor of yours that just so happened to be white got a boat? Like, I'm just saying, as an example, got a boat. And y'all trying to get the F up out of America because something going on, God forbid, right? You not gonna get on that boat and roll out? Hey man, look, hey, we got food, we got drinks. You gonna be good, man. The trip is this long. We gotta go somewhere else. We going. I don't know. It's probably gonna take us a lot, but I got everything that we need. We just can't have a lot of people on here because we got to keep the amount of resources that'll keep us up for the, amount of whatever length it is for us to travel wherever they're going. Are you gonna stay in America and let whatever happen in America happen? Like, forget it. All right, okay, and then that's it. All right, fine. All right, but the guy offered you a ride. That's a form of friendship, form of something. You can say yes or no. The reason why I'm saying that is because you can tell that a lot of people said no. Those that said yes on the boat, and how come they not up under it? Uh-oh. How come they on top? Like how we saw in that other picture. They on the deck. I set that clean up, didn't I? I set that clean up. Because they on the deck. Like, I mean, please explain that. I thought you was in the bottom. Chained up. What happened? Why you on the top on the deck throwing up the sail? You got this many supervisors? Logical thinking. This is not Dane Calloway making this up. This is logical thinking. This is critical thinking. This is what this is. See, in some cases, you don't get taught that in school because, of course, they want to keep you indoctrinated. They want you to subscribe to their ideology without question, meaning uncritically. You can't give any feedback on that. And then teacher, I got a question. No, hold your question to the end of the lesson. Hold on, Dane. I know you want to say something. Hold on, but let me finish what I gotta teach. See? They don't want you to ask no questions, so they know it's bull crap.
I'm just here to make you think.